Before we jump into this episode, I want to invite you to join our community to help you become a better steward, scale to billions, and ultimately give more or all of it away. All I want you to do is to click the subscribe button right now. I love your support. It's incredible to see your comments, and we're just getting started. I can't wait to go on this journey with you. Thank you so much for subscribing. It means the world to me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Build It to Billions podcast, where we believe a lot of entrepreneurs, millionaires who are increasing their capital through scaling their businesses to billionaires are looking for ways to dive even deeper into strategies to help their clients and their investors every single day by finding ways to model and to impact others that have done it in a big way. And we're here in the studio to learn every single day from guests who are experts in their field, in their craft. And today's guest is no exception. He is an expert and a master when it comes to all things 1031 exchanges. He's actually a previous guest on the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, and now he's a new guest here on the Build It to Billions podcast. He is out of the great state of Florida. Please welcome to the show with me, Dave Foster. Dave, how are we doing?
Hey, it's awesome to be here with you today. And it's awesome to be in the great state of Florida.
The big topic right now, which is this 1031 exchange, Dave, right? And potentially the capping of this, the stepped up basis elimination, and the proposal of Biden's tax plan of increasing capital gains tax to 44%. So which one do you like to start with? And let's just dive right into what's at stake here for...
I get chills from all of them. Yeah, it's Congress seems to have never met a tax they don't like. But along with everything that the government does, everything that we do, there's always those unintended consequences, aren't there? And if you go back to the very beginning, Brett, in 1920, when 1031s were memorialized into law, the reason was very specific. It was because our nation was transitioning from small agricultural endeavors, and our country was hungry. It had just left World War I and was growing like crazy. We needed big agribusiness. We needed also transition to industrialized business. And the problem was that we still had a whole nation of farmers that were living and raising, working on 160 acres. Does that number ring a bell to you?
160 acres?
160 acres.
No.
The Homestead Law of 1860 allowed anybody in America in a whole lot of national lands to be able to claim for free 160 acres and build what is called their homestead. So we had all kinds of farms, but how can you scale on 160 acres? Enough to feed a hungry country. So what happened was Congress put 1031 into place so that now these farmers who couldn't sell and buy their next farm because they couldn't afford it after they paid the tax could now defer the tax and go buy a bigger farm. And you know what else that allowed? All of these young farmers, young kids that wanted to become farmers, to be able to buy a small farm. And that just added, it was like adding gasoline to a fire on our nation's agribusiness. Now, fast forward 104 years, and Congress is looking at 1031 saying, ooh, it's these evil rich people getting away with capital gains tax. We've got to take it from them so we can give it to others. The unintended consequence of that is so massive, because if you tell a big investor that they're not going to be able to defer tax on a huge sale, are they going to sell? Not nearly as likely. And if they don't sell, what's going to happen to the smaller investor that's wanting to buy up? What's going to happen to the entry-level investor? You're basically going to stall out the great deal of the real estate economy. And the problem is, let's go even further. When you do that, because the proposal is to increase the capital gains, right? Well, okay, 1031 is the mitigator of that. But if you raise capital gains and take away the incentive to sell property, now you had a bad double whammy. And I know they're just talking about limiting capital gains to 500,000. And there's a couple things we can talk about along that, but still, it's going to really shrink the available pool of growth. And when you do that, Guess who else is not going to make money? If you've got fewer real estate transactions, then you have 2 fewer realtors, 2 fewer title companies, 2 painters, 2 appraisers, 2 inspectors, and all of a sudden they're all losing business. When they lose business, they're not paying tax. And they're paying tax at the higher ordinary income rate. And just like you and I both know, if we're not making money, I don't go to the store and buy a new car. And if I don't buy a new car, the car salesman doesn't buy new groceries. And that's how that ripple effect, which Ernst & Young and several other very respected institutions have done studies that show the billions of dollars that's going to be lost if we endure the unintended consequences of getting away or sharply curtailing the 1031 exchange.
I couldn't agree with you more. By the way, Dave Foster can be found at 1031.com, 1031. Is it the1031.com or is it
the 1031 Investor?
At the1031investor.com. I'm sorry, the1031investor.com.
So if you like this little short clip of the interview I just did, click over here to watch the full interview. And please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much, everybody.